Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're well. Something I've been noticing recently, both in conversations with people and just in the general mood of the world, is that a lot of people feel mentally overwhelmed. Not just stressed because they've had a busy week or a hard week, not just tired because they didn't sleep well last night, but overwhelmed in a deeper way, like their mind never really switches off even when nothing dramatic is happening in their personal life. There's this background tension, a constant feeling that something else is happening somewhere. Another update, another headline, another thing you should probably be paying attention to. And I don't think that feeling is random. I think a lot of it comes from the environment we're living in right now. Because the modern world is incredibly loud. Not physically loud, but mentally loud. There's always something competing for your attention. Your phone lights up and there's another notification, another message, another piece of news, another video. And before you've even fully started your day, your brain has already started processing information from all over the world. And that's something human beings have never really had to deal with before. If you look back through, most of human history, stress was around us. It was local. Your brain was mostly dealing with things that were happening in your immediate environment. Like your family, your friends, your work, your community, and maybe a few things beyond that. But today, our brains are exposed to the entire world every day. You wake up and within minutes, you can see what's happening in 10 different countries. You see global conflicts, economic uncertainty, political arguments, social media debates, and you see thousands of other people's lives unfolding in real time. And your brain tries to process all of it. Even when you don't realize it consciously, your nervous system is still absorbing those signals. And the nervous system is very sensitive to stimulation. It's constantly scanning the environment, looking for information about what's happening around you. Is there any danger, any pressure? Is there something I need to react to? The problem is that modern information streams trigger that scanning constantly. Every headline feels urgent. Every notification feels like it might matter. Every argument online feels intense. And over time, the constant stimulation, it starts to wear people down. It really does. Not because they're weak, but because the human nervous system wasn't designed to operate at that level of input all day, every day. When your brain is processing that much stimulation, it never really gets a chance to settle. And when the mind never settles, exhaustion builds slowly in the background. This is where, I think a lot of people misunderstand what they're experiencing when they start feeling mentally tired or overwhelmed. They assume something is wrong with them personally. They think they're not coping well enough. They think everyone else must be managing better in their life. But often what's actually happening is much simpler. They're reacting normally to an unusually intense environment. The amount of information people absorb in today's world would have been unimaginable even 20 years ago. And yet we expect our minds to handle it effortlessly. We expect ourselves to remain calm and focused while constantly being exposed to stimulation. But the nervous system needs recovery. It needs moments when nothing is demanding attention. It needs quiet. And a lot of people rarely give themselves that anymore. There's always something else to check. Another update, another conversation. You know, it can be hard. So the mind always stays active, always slightly alert, always slightly scanning, and that constant alertness slowly turns into mental fatigue. One of the most powerful shifts you can make for your mental health is learning how to protect your attention. Not completely disconnecting from the world, but creating boundaries around what enters your mind. You don't need to read every headline. You don't need to watch every debate. You don't need to absorb every opinion that appears on your screen. Your nervous system benefits enormously from moments of quiet. Moments where nothing is competing for your attention. Where the mind can simply exist without processing constant information. That might mean stepping away from your phone for a while, going for a walk without listening to anything, spending time in environments where the pace of life is slower. Because calm doesn't usually come from solving the entire world. It often comes from shrinking your focus, protecting your mental space, and remembering that your attention is one of the most valuable things you have. The world might stay noisy, information will probably keep moving, but your internal world doesn't have to move at the same speed. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is create space where your mind can slow down. Because when your nervous system gets a chance to settle, clarity returns, energy returns, and life starts to feel more manageable again.